Saludos a todos, bienvenidos a Rebachol, bienvenidos una vez más a Disco Elysium. Continuamos con las aventuras de nuestros policías para hallar el culpable de la muerte del asesinato del pobre ahorcado que ya hemos logrado bajar su cuerpo. Sin embargo,
the man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour he looks less like a creature, and the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
hemos logrado bajar el cadáver y examinarlo bastante detenidamente. Sin embargo, hicimos un análisis y creemos que la muerte no puede ser por linchamiento. Sin embargo, nos faltan pruebas. Y acá Percepción detectó algo. Sin embargo, no podemos intentarlo nuevamente, ya que requiere que subamos un punto de habilidad. Así que ahora mismo vamos a mejorar. Vamos a buscar nuevas cosas y buscar maneras de experiencia. Cualquier cosa.
You see a set of tire tracks.
Tenemos algunas opciones para hacer. Misiones también, como encontrar a la esposa. Tenemos 2 esposos que buscar. También tenemos que buscar nuestra arma, porque no voy a dejar que Claire me gane en eso. Y parece que todavía no podemos pasar.
Good day to you, officers.
Ok, todavía no se puede pasar. Parece que todavía.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light used to be. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens.
Bajar más fuerte. No, mejor soltar la palanca.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Así que mañana podemos cruzar. Así que mañana podremos descubrir qué hay al otro lado. Perfecto. Por mientras, ¿qué podemos hacer? Así, tenemos que indagar sobre nuestra arma. Preguntaremos al de la tienda por nuestra arma perdida. Por ahí cualquier cosa. También tenemos que esperar hasta las 9 de la noche para retirar las botas del cadáver antes de que se lo lleven, ya que si ahorita embolsamos el cuerpo no tendremos la oportunidad de llevarnos las botas del cadáver. También está el tema del casco y otras 2 partes más. A ver, Roy.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Solo por curiosidad, ¿vendes armas de fuego como las que llevan los agentes de la milicia ciudadana?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
¿Yo empeñé mi arma?
What? Sold? This is a pawn shop,
Oh my
and
God.
it did feel as if you'd met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
¿Sabes si el cobertor también era un policía?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
Ella. ¿Quién será? Ella. ¿Cindy?
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Aterradora.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Lo siento haber perdido habido vender mi arma. No me queda decir de otra, pues. A mí tampoco me gusta un pelo. Y si se pretende cometer un crimen y cargarle muerte a la milicia. Ay, Dios mío. Lo siento, pero esta sí es mi culpa. No me queda de otra.
Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow, while also keeping our focus on the murder investigation.
¿Alguna idea de dónde podría encontrar la compradora?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
¿Ha venido alguien del sindicato de Edward buscando el arma?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it.
Entonces ellos están igual que nosotros.
They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Wait, then it might be true. Everard's claims.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
Espera, ¿qué te vendí? ¿Que te vendí mi arma? ¿Por cuándo?
You,
With Kim here too? That just sounded really, really bad.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Vale.
And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Por lo menos yo sé cómo perder el arma. Vale, hablemos de otra cosa.
Of course.
Tengo algo que me gustaría vender.
Sure. Let me have a look.
A ver qué tengo en los bolsillos.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Dado de 3 caras con los colores de sirena publicidad de canal. Si cierras los ojos, puedes lanzarlo. Mira las pestañas del mapa para ver qué tiras de habilidad básicas se han desbloqueado. Oh, ya veo. Calle Boogie. Vendamos esto. No creo que las postales para ganar algo, sí. ¿Podemos vender esto? Vamos a vender unas par de postales. No creo que a nadie le sirva. Y creo que eso es todo. Vámonos. Ya tenemos 20. Tengo una foto alucinante de un fiambre. Mostrar la foto.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale.
¿Sabe qué significan los tatuajes?
Aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something lighter.
Ok.
Another time, perhaps.
Vámonos. Ok. No creo que voy a comprar nada más. Pero el hecho ya sabemos quién se llevó. ¿Quién se pudo haber llevado nuestra arma? Preguntémosle a Cindy. Joyce, a ver, ¿cuántas chicas hay? Sylvie, Joyce y Cynthia. La mujer que anda dormida. La jardinera. Pero considerando que la jardinera está con el sindicato, dudo que sea ella. ¿Y qué nos dirá por si acaso el joven de acá?
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Ya. Parece que no va a decir nada más. Y por acá no hay nada más. No. Es cierto. Pensé que no tenía la bolsa en la mano. Basura. Que tenemos que recoger basura para sobrevivir. Tenemos que conseguir 20 reales cada día. A ver, a ver. Ah, sí, cierto. Había algo más. Descubrimos que algo de contraclear sobre los containers que los estaban pintando de color. Y tal vez esta información le interese a Joyce. Y además de paso hablar con Cindy por el tema del arma. Ya que no creo que hayan tantas mujeres por acá. Cindy, ¿estás ahí?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
La cámara carbonera no es tuya, ¿verdad?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
Ah, ya. Dios mío, qué alivio. Yo pensé que era la cama de la ancianita. Menos mal.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
No es un lugar muy agradable, pero supongo que cumplirá su cometido.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
¿No tienes un hogar de verdad?
Does anyone in a city like this?
Genial. En serio, ¿eres minera? Por solamente para preguntar.
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me. But somehow, it never happens.
Vale, eso es todo.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
¿Y qué sabes sobre la armadura de la desaparecida víctima?
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
¿Acaso una armadura no es arte? ¿Arte para el cuerpo?
Ugh, alright. Sad Piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time!
Y ahí hay una niña que lleva los guantes.
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you.
Ok.
I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
Or a weakness for police officers, miss. Thank you either way.
Vámonos. Bueno, por lo menos sabemos dónde está la armadura. Pero me parece que Cindy no es el arma. O será Joyce. Aunque Joyce no creo que sea. Creo que
You're
era
back.
operadora.
Good. What can I help you with?
A ver. He estado haciendo tratos con Edward de nuevo.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
Le diría al boss. Lo del Bosch, porque tiene que ver con el sindicato y con ella.
Did you now?
No,
What sort of borscht is he making?
el cocinero lo prepara para mantener borrachos a los huelguistas, les ayuda a huelguear.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
No, no lo entiende, giré el botón así, al revés.
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down. For the sake of our professional relationship. And because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else?
Me pidió que entregara un sobre.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it?
Era un asentamiento sin nombre en la costa, cerca de acá.
Ah, yes. I've been meaning to go there.
With longing. Clear and simple longing. Strange. Why does she want to go there?
Le tiene mucho cariño a este pueblo, ¿verdad?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another.
¿Ha estado en Martínez antes?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not.
Parece que echa de menos esos tiempos.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats. Like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
Quiere construir un centro juvenil aquí para los niños de Martínez.
A youth centre with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
Así que le entristece no poder comprar el lugar.
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
She is more defensive about it than usual.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
No, nada más.
Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
Hablemos más de acerca de la huelga portuaria.
Of course.
Los esquiros de la puerta, ¿los puso usted allí?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
Llamémoslo rompehuelgas, ¿son cosas suyas?
To answer your question, yes, they were organized by Wild Pines. The contractors picked them up from Jamrock and drove them over. This is standard practice. The company reserves the right to man its stations.
Ya veo, así que sí fueron los que movieron
Of
esos.
course. How else can I help?
Don't tell her you've met Everard right away. There's time.
No le digas que ya has conocido a Ebra aún hay tiempo. Hablemos más de la realidad en la que nos encontramos. Bueno, ¿por qué no? Hablemos de la realidad en la que nos encontramos.
This reality.
Está relacionado con este incidente médico. Tengo problemas para recordar inclusive los términos básicos de... No haga tiempo para aplicaciones. Hágame alguna confidencia.
No, but please. A little context. We're not in such a hurry.
Está relacionado a mi incidente médico. Ya le dije.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
¿Dónde estamos?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Ajá, ¿qué es Martínez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has
Vale.
its charms, just not this time of year.
Hábleme otro aspecto de la habilidad. Ya creo que así la tenemos claro ya.
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing?
¿Qué tiempo vivimos?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Demasiado tarde para qué.
For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
¿A qué se refiere con el gran momento?
The revolution.
¿Y de qué va esa revolución de la que no paro de oír de hablar?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
¿Y quiénes obtuvieron los derechos sobre el metal?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Vale. Y por liberales se refiere a...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement.
O los caviares a los que se refiere tanto a los fujimoristas. Vale.
Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
¿Cómo consiguieron ganar los liberales?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Vale.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
Si le dispararon a todos, ¿quién quedaba para rendirse?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Pero ¿no había dicho que habían sido los liberales los que se llevaron todo?
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
¿Y quiénes son la coalición?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Estados Unidos, China, Rusia, ¿se te refieres? ¿Moralista? ¿En qué sentido?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol. And also, the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Siempre se elige la opción de no comprometerse con nada, entonces lo soy y no lo soy.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
¿Cuándo ocurrió este jaleo?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
¿Quién empezó?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
¿Hasta dónde se extendió ya a partir de allí?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
¿Qué pasó después?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar.
¿Qué pasó en el resto del mundo?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
O sea, este es como en Latinoamérica, escapar de Revachol.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Sí. Espera, ¿está diciendo que ha sido así durante 43 años?
Time flies.
¿Qué hemos estado haciendo todo este tiempo?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames, Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
Y después de eso,
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
¿dónde están?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
Vale.
Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Creo que del lado que estaba el Wolfenstein ya es obvio ya. ¿Qué habría hecho de forma distinta?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
Ha preguntado yo, ¿qué pinta usted en esto?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Qué perspicacia.
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing.
Los de la muerte, en serio. A ver, si hay una pandemia y esto. O bueno, considerando que estamos con COVID. Hubiera buscado alguna solución médica.
A cold creeps up your spine, reaching its tendrils up your neck, toward the back of your head.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago?
Aquí le queda perros rabiosos infestados. La tercera, porque creo que es lo que estamos haciendo ahora. Con una asistencia sanitaria privatizada y una ética de trabajo que no convierte a tu cerebro en tejido esponjoso. Bueno, que tratamos de hacer la tercera, pero lo que estamos pasando es la primera. Y la segunda es Wilty Crow. Bueno, la tercera.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The charge dissipates into the dark water. All is quiet on the Martinez Inlet.
Espera, gané un punto, fue porque esto. Ultraliberales me dan esto.
A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building. A woman's voice.
It's all yours.
Escalofríos, tú te llevas bien lejos. ¿Dónde? ¿A dónde me has llevado, escalofríos? El viento se detiene por un momento y la carga se disipa. La carne todo está tranquila en el Valle Martínez. Un perro ladra, se escucha con disparo. Alguien ha disparado. Todo tuyo.
A poor remedy for prion disease. That was the attitude of most of the more moderate Indo tribes, particularly those who supported the king. Kupri, Resplendent, both gone now. Those that survived mended their ways. They're all ultras now.
Vale.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
Lo siento.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
¿De qué lado se sabe el grupo Wild Pines?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
Tuvieron suerte.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
Se habría puesto del lado del rey.
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
Vale, o sea, yo ahí sí es un poco nacionalista. Ya hemos hablado suficiente de los tiempos pasados.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come.
¿Quién sabe?
Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
Espíritu de corpse. Espíritu de corpse. Abstracción. A ver, espíritu de corpse, ayúdame. Eso es todo por ahora.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Espíritu de corpse, voy a subirle un poquito porque necesitamos la experiencia. ¿Por dónde está?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality?
Vamos.
My favorite part of the day. Go ahead.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Olvídalo. Tengo que mejorar espíritu de corpse. No, no puedo subir más. Tengo que hacer otra cosa. Quiero saber qué es usted.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
No decir nada.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Una nacionalista que se vendió a las empresas.
I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine. It's sharp.
No entiendo. ¿Qué tiene eso de bien?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financier pirates. No sane person identifies as ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
La perdono, pero solo porque es encantadora. Es encantadora. Y porque me pagó.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of it.
No lo voy a decir la tercera. Velada vil.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk and my intimidating liberal credentials. This was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Habría hecho algo diferente. Disculpa por preguntarlo de nuevo, pero...
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not...
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Es patriota.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
¿Tiene hijas? Ya, si ser patriota no sé si decir que es inteligente. Realmente yo no lo pienso, pero bueno. ¿Tiene hijas?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Ay, extracción. Vamos con extracción. No creo que debemos, pero obviamente no.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look.
Eso es todo,
Glad to
señora.
have been of assistance. The little that I know.
No,
Anything
gracias.
else?
Gracias, eso ha sido todo. Así que tenemos una liberal con dinero. Una patriota. Nacionalista. Y por el otro lado tenemos sindicalistas, socialistas, capitalistas, racistas. Y al contrario de la de Joyce con Claire y con cráneo métrico, Joyce no tenía ningún comentario racista. Ay, Dios mío. Bueno, ya tenemos un punto. Tenemos que aumentar la percepción, ¿no? Permítanme un ratito.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Percepción. Perdón. Solo tengo que hacerte oler todo desde cada rato.
The man is decomposed. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
A ver, percepción, vamos, ayúdame.
You really ought to wait until the cadaver is...
Por el amor de Dios. Vale, falló esto. ¿Qué podemos hacer ahora? Quedan 3 horas para esto. Kuno, hablaremos contigo. Todavía me quedan unos asuntos de pantalón.
Kuno qué?
Ay, empatía, Kuno. No.
Kuno doesn't
Ok, entonces, Kuniese.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
A ver, Kuniese, ¿qué ando contigo? No he hablado contigo hasta ahora porque no me da la gana y no me quiero acercar ni a ti.
Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
She means it. The fear is real.
Calma, solo quiero hacerte unas preguntas.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
¿Por qué dices esas palabras tan raras, niña? Charlemos, Peque, con confianza.
Murder was the case they gave me.
¿No voy a hablar más?
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
¿Por qué dices esas palabras tan raras? A ver.
I come from the woods, good Davidu. You don't want to go there with me.
Don't be traumatizing her. Get the fuck out of it.
Ay, Dios mío, estos
I'll
chicos.
die before I squeal, pig.
Tú, el detrás de ahí.
You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody. I'm not here, pig. You're not seeing this.
You can still see the top of her.
Ah,
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
vale, la primera. Escucha, mocoso. El olor es tan de segundo que no puedo evitar que la vomitera. Me preguntaba.
Stay away from me, pig.
Ay, la
I'll die
última.
before I... What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of here.
So it's a girl. Interesting.
¿Esa es una chica? Ay, Dios mío. A ver, Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Empatía.
Kuno doesn't fucking...
Empatía, Dios mío, empatía. Siento que si no respondo mal, me va a dar algo.
Fuck does Kuno care?
A ver, vamos a ver que no me mate.
He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too. This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful.
Kuno, seguro que he visto todo mientras estabas aquí tirando piedras. ¿Quieres ayudar a MC a retricar un asesino?
Fuck no! What are you? Fuck.
Kuno, they've almost made you a snitch now.
Ease off, see? Kuno always takes the bullet over the hammer.
Ay, Dios mío, este chico.
Kuno doesn't
Ay, Kuno. Hablemos con Garte. Oh, bueno. Hablemos con los chicos de Hardy. Espérate, todavía me queda una cosa más. El refrigerador, ¿verdad? El refrigerador. Para ver si podemos guardar el cadáver ahí. En vez de palmarlo. Para examinarlo con más detalle. Ya que si lo tenemos mucho tiempo acá se puede malograr. ¿Qué más? Pues eso tenemos Garte. Los camioneros. No, creo que con los camioneros no tenemos nada. Un ratito la linterna. Ah, cierto, tenemos que prender el de los osos, ¿no?
Both cables are unplugged. Somewhere, a machine. The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
¿Qué opina de la nevera aquí? Aquí caben por lo menos 2 cadáveres.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can. Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Vale.
The 2 of you. Easily.
Venga, vamos.
The body is heavier than you expected, and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Vale. O sea que aquí podemos tener el cadáver en vez de tenerlo allí con...
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
You've definitely earned a drink after this. Perhaps even some pagan rites.
La otra vez le dije a Tim King para tomar algo. Me dijo, no, si tomas algo más te mueres. Mejor no. Tienes razón. No sé si creerte. ¿Lo dices en serio? Vamos haciendo más.
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This story does not leave this room.
Kim siendo sarcástico es lo máximo. Yo tampoco estoy orgulloso, pero al menos tenemos la nevera.
As impressive as the fridge is, this is a small victory, among numerous defeats. At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection, under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Oh. Ahora podemos inspeccionar el esto mejor. Percepción, por favor. Por favor, percepción.
You touch
Me voy a
the dead
morir,
man's body.
carajo.
His skin is cold, like
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
Por el amor de Dios. 72%, no puede ser. ¿Qué más quieres que suba? ¿Y el cordón negro al final para qué es? No hay nada más acá. Bueno, olvidémoslo. ¡Qué barbaridad! No puedes tener más mala suerte, Dios mío. Ay, pero ¿por qué quién me manda a jugar a un juego que depende tanto de la suerte? A ver. No podemos buscar a los esposos así porque no podemos cruzar el puente. Ya hemos visto todas las personas que están dentro de esta zona. Y si no es ninguno de los esposos de la señora, o puede ser que sea un sindicalista, quién sabe. Bueno. Vamos a ver. Ah, cierto. ¿Qué es esto del timbre?
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. East Delta Commerce Center? This must be the name of the doomed commercial area.
A ver, vestíbulo principal, edificio A.
An off-key melody.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
Pliancio, soy yo. Estaba investigando la zona maldita como acordamos.
Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you were...
Ya.
But the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore. So I can't help you. Please don't call here again. Thanks.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead.
La peluquería no funciona. A ver, ya recordemos lo que nos dijo la artesana de los dados. Este tampoco funciona. Ventanas tampoco. Taller de modas Degma. Taxis El Fabrón. Tampoco. Slim S.A. Este era de los constructores del role-playing del juego.
You hear static from the intercom speaker. You can almost hear them breathe.
Hola, ¿hay alguien ahí?
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
¿Perdón? ¿Qué?
Have you come to place an order?
¿No nos había dicho la artesana que no había nadie?
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
Claro, pues ahí está, no tiene sentido. Un momento, creo que había llamado el Slipstream sea.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
¿Disculpa?
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
It's a woman, and she knows you. Your heart beats faster.
Electroquímica, deja de ayudar.
She must be mistaking you for someone else. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
¿Nos conocemos?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Dime qué pasa, ¿qué hice?
Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally meet again.
Mira, voy a colgar.
She sounds like she's about to cry.
Hola.
She doesn't answer.
Has dicho que era agradable. ¿Qué tiene bueno de olvidar?
Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay.
¿Qué ha pasado?
Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold standing here, staring at the silent call box.
I don't know what happened either. We should probably stop playing with this thing.
Bien, entonces adiós.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read.
A ver, voluntad. Dime que puedes hacer algo.
No. Hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do.
Fortress Accident. S.A.
Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident.
Ciudad de Rebachol.
Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
Vestíbulo principal, edificio William B. Winrax.
Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you.
Y el sin etiqueta es la artesana, ¿no?
This button looks new, but someone...
This button looks new. I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been connected yet. Is it the dice makers?
Sí, es el artesano de los dados, pero no responde. Intentémoslo de nuevo.
This button.
This button
Me
looks
parece
new.
que no.
I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been...
Eso fue extraño. A ver, ¿qué descubrimos acá? Encontrar los guantes. Enviar código de procesamiento. El episodio de maduro. Tener dos firmas de Eduardo. No podemos pasar, así que no. No. Pero todavía no soy colega, así que no. Encontramos a él tampoco. No, me mata. Los pasadizos de Weirdling. Ah, cierto, la puerta trasera. A las 9 de la noche, ya. Quítale las botas a las víctimas. Todavía no podemos, tenemos que ir a las 9. Alice. Ah, cierto, tenemos que llamar a Alice. Vamos a llamar a Alice.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Espérate. ¿Está bien? Sí, está bien. ¿Alguna noticia de la CPI sobre el número de la serie de las botas de la armadura?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Betancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Semenine conflict.
Ya veo, sí, Crenel, Pharmacy están conectados entonces. Ya.
So, it seems the armor went to Semenine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Sospecho que no es un nombre de Crenel.
Yes. That is the most recent name the ICP has been able to connect to the CBP. And the one before it was Downwell. I also have one called Sediment, but I think that might be a different contractor.
Ya veo.
No, they work with Sediment. And Somatosensor, it seems. All that during the last 9 years.
Sediment. Sediment y somatosensor.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
Una armadura como esta habría sido personalizada para adaptarse al usuario. Debe de haber un registro de la persona para la que se fabricó.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
This is a fun challenge for her. An opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Sí, gracias, agente. De verdad que aprecio sus esfuerzos en este caso.
Glad to help. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have more for you then.
Vale. Encontramos más. ¿Quién tiene más acceso a la basura? Encuentra la dicha persona y sabrá quién manipula ese crimen. Podría llevar un tiempo. No. ¿Quién denunció el crimen? Continúo buscando la cola de karaoke. Soy una cita, no lo puedo cantar.
Over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set.
Necesitamos dos cosas. Uno, pastillas para la moral. Si vamos a intentar hacer algo ahorita, necesitamos pastillas para la moral. O si no, voy a morir cualquier cosa más que haga. Hablaré con Carte y con los hijos con los chicos de Hardy. Intentar abrir. Podemos mostrar los tatuajes, pero no creo que sea buen momento. Especialmente no cuando hemos avanzado nada del caso.
Is this about the questions again? because I don't really know anything.
Freddy tiene un almacén en la parte trasera de William Rex.
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
Es importante, por favor, la memoria.
She scrunches up her face into an expression of consummate adolescent skepticism.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Ok. Medicinas.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste.
The tear machine stands in the corner. The tear machine stands in the corner.
¿Puedo usar la máquina?
No. You need tear to use the...
Se me va basurando y esto. Oh, Dios mío, este juego me va a dejar pobre. Así que sin... Este no conecta Frite, sino conecta con el hostal. Un sótano a lo del hostal. Pero si el condominio de las tiendas y el William Rock están conectados, ¿no significaría eso que es un camino secreto que no hemos visto hasta ahora? No. Podemos reportar a la comisaría. Siento que va a doler bastante. No quiero hacerlo. Vamos para allá. En algún momento tendremos que encontrar nuestra placa. En algún momento. Espero. ¿Dónde podría haber tirado la placa? A ver, primero Garte.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those.
La línea está caput.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers.
¿Es verdad que fue un sabotaje?
Who told you that?
Nunca revelo mis fuentes, seré deshonesto.
Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers.
Vale. O sea, no está cortado el teléfono después del ahorcamiento. Llamada anónima. Corta el teléfono. No se puede comprobar dónde está el otro. ¿Desde dónde vino la llamada? Sospechoso.
If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill.
Vale.
Yes?
Nada más. Y luego la puerta.
You see a heavy... You immediately feel drawn to the color. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame, but the door does not.
¿Cómo abrimos esta puerta? ¿Hay algo que se nos está pasando? Bueno, no hay nada que hacer. A ver, hijo Segarty. Hablemos con la jardinera primero.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
¿Qué piensas tú en todo esto?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Y si quiero hablar contigo y no con Titus.
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
¿Por qué eres tan agresiva?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers. We've talked to Everard Clare. We know who these men are. The union's militant wing.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
¿Por qué no? Hagamos preguntas.
Let's.
Darles 10 el discurso político no me sirve de nada. Este es Hardy.
This is where you say your bed.
Todavía se levanta y todo, vale.
Detective.
Vale. Tenemos que hablar del patio del ahorcado. Del ahorcado del patio.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
Estudiar la sala.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man. In his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian. In his late 30s, early 40s. A symmetric burn on his neck, resembling the letters Los Los. Has he tried to burn it off? Leave that life behind? And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy. In the far corner, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Y el bajito.
Size 41. With the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
El de la suela extraña está ausente.
Exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardy boys are involved in the drug trade as well?
No necesariamente. Puede que la den mantuviera el tráfico de dragos en secreto.
Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Now is a good time to hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
El arcado del patio, ¿habéis sido vosotros?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
¿Por qué tiene la víctima una cinta de amarre alrededor del cuello?
Container belt, like we use in the harbor?
Sí, ¿por qué estaba ahorcado usando una?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
As he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion again, savoring it.
We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
Pero aquí hay un gato encerrado.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
¿Quién daba las órdenes esa noche?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a hardy boy without arresting all hardy boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Ya, pero en serio, ¿quién corta el bacalao por aquí?
Who do you fucking think does?
¿Qué hago? ¿Le alimento el ego para sacarle respuestas? ¿O busco un chivo expiatorio para hacer atacar desde ese punto? Muy grande es el que domina. Creo que fue grandote. Puedo acorralar al grandote para ponerlo nervioso. ¿Cuál de las dos puede ser? Elizabeth no creo, porque ella no está demasiado calculadora, demasiado inteligente para hacer algo así. Algo tan tonto como poner un linchamiento. Ya, vamos con Titus.
That's right, asshole. Titus Hardy runs the Hardy Boys. Ain't that so, fellas?
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
No, you did not get an answer. Titus does administrative work. He pushes paper, fills out forms. The others can't read. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
¿Por qué lo habéis matado?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
¿Por ser mercenario?
And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Vale, pero ¿qué exactamente qué les hizo mal?
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started to come in here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Era la misma chica que sufrió la, ya saben.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
Ya, pero entonces, ¿quién fue la víctima?
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter, and I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
¿Cuándo tuvo lugar este incidente?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
¿Cuánto hacía que conocías a la víctima?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, ass.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two, because he knows the company is responsible for bringing the mercenaries into town.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
No me interrumpas.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Lo que hacemos es aplicar la ley, vosotros matar como si nada.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
¿Cómo lo mataste?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
The lieutenant goes in for the leg sweep. Titus does not see it coming.
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clubbed him in the back of the head.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
Ay, por Dios, compostura. Es una tirada de crítica. No la puedo intentar de nuevo. Un poco, reconocerlo. Señor Tatuajes, ¿qué utilizaste para noquear a la víctima?
My fucking elbow, copper. Samaran boxing style.
¿Dónde tuvo lugar toda esta acción?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Me dijo que siguiera preguntando. Vale, vamos a preguntar un poco más.
My fucking elbow, copper. Samaran boxing style.
Tengo algo sobre el linchamiento.
Like what, copper?
Así que voy y te resto cerca a ti y a los demás.
Yeah, lawman.
It's almost an anthropological.
Not in the arresting mood?
A fearful readiness, like an electrical charge, raises hairs in the room. By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer.
Tranquilo, solo preguntaba.
Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you. While the little rat-faced man reaches into his sleeve, there's a knife in there. Some of the others reach for their belts. Their eyes are light.
Vale, hablemos.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one and get the fuck out of our booth. We're not gonna do this again.
¿Cómo lo mataste?
We hanged him.
Didn't they take...
The autopsy showed
The lieutenant...
Yeah, that's right.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
Con postura me va a matar. Con postura me va a matar. Dios mío. No sé por qué. Siento que lo voy a fallar. Por favor.
Titus is
Voy por
solid
Dios.
as a rock.
Bien.
And so are a few others. But...
¿Quién podría quebrarse bajo presión? Sí, parece que sí. Tú, grandote.
No. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
¿Hay algo que me estás ocultando?
And fuck you too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
And fuck...
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of...
Like what, Copper?
¿Quién daba las órdenes?
Are you deaf? Do you think you could do that? Do you
Gatitos.
think...
Who do you fucking think does?
Alongos, a ver, capaz nos dice algo nuevo.
The sweaty man turns red and looks first down, then around him, apologetically.
It's not the fat ass. Titus runs the Hardy Boys, genius. That's why we're called the Hardy Boys. Ain't that right, fellas?
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
¿Qué hacemos ahora?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go...
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Bien dicho, Kim.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop. So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
Ay, 3%, estás loco. Y es una tirada básica. No, ni loco lo voy a intentar. He encontrado 8 pares de huellas, pero vosotros no sois más que 7. ¿Dónde está el octavo integrante?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her. She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
Yo no tengo pistola, por si acaso.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this eighth Hardy sooner or later.
¿Sabes qué? He dado con vuestra conexión con el tráfico de drogas local.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 Kilos.
¿En serio? ¿No has visto estos dos chicos que están ahí en el patio? ¿Cómo están de ahí tirados?
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprint. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
Gracias.
The thought forms in your head, like a lightning strike branching in the sky. No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Estás en lo cierto, no hay ningún tuvo señal de ratitos. No, a los honores, te lo has ganado, se tira el teniente.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Esos asquerosos están admitiendo que deben el beneficio de tu propia gente.
Boo fucking who. People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organized.
Sí, tan ordenado. Imagínate cómo van a crecer esos dos chicos que están en el patio.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about. Clean and organized. And the Hardy Boys are running it.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
El octavo Hardy, el que está desaparecido, es ella quien lo dirige todo, ¿verdad?
My answer is, fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
Finally, you got something out of him. This could prove useful in the future.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know. Fatty walked on all fours. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
Despite everything, the little man is quick on his feet.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
He hablado con Joyce, el mercenario que habéis colgado. Bueno, pues sus amigos van por vosotros.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Crenell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
Se está formando una especie de tribunal y vienen a por vosotros.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Me.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole merc platoon.
Esto es lo que es mal asunto, lo sabes, ¿verdad?
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals with decades of combat experience. They are not a gang or a Barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think.
Llevan automáticas, oye.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ester 50s, Zilagars. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
¿Atravesarán la armadura cerámica?
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
Sí, descubrirán que no la atraviesan.
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor.
No, ya hemos preguntado los detalles técnicos sobre la armadura, ya lo sabemos.
You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
Dice Joyce que se han revelado, están descontrolados.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Vale, lo tienes tú, eso es tuya, es tu bola, tómalo.
What do you mean, okay?
Vale, Titus, os van a exterminar.
No, they won't. Get out of here with your negative energy.
All he means is that the situation is serious.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
¿Quieres saber algo más del ahorcamiento?
Again, just get...
Good one, Titus.
A ver, ¿quién daba las órdenes esa noche?
Are you deaf? Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Uno de ellos, no tengo por qué, uno de ellos tuvo más que ver con que los otros.
That's for the courts in Le Jardin to decide. Not for the officer making an arrest. What you can do...
No. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that
no
night.
funciona esa. ¿Quién daba las órdenes esa
Are you
noche?
deaf? Do you think you could...
Who do you fucking think does?
El octavo chico de Hardy, ahí está, la que faltó. El que faltaba, el pez gordo. Este no me apareció antes.
Titus, no one was thinking.
No. Fuck no! The big dick is right here, asshole. You're looking at it. Right. Fucking here.
Vale, sí, claro, Titus, tú lo como quieras.
Disregard the outburst, officer. None of the boys have any comments on their power relations.
A ver,
That night, they acted as one. That's all.
¿Cómo lo habéis matado? A ver.
Why? Because he was worthless mercenary scum.
Por ser mercenario.
And
What kind of...
the kind that shows up when...
A live grenade.
I can't prove it, but I know he was
¿Y
sent
cómo
by
saca
the
tu en
wild
fuerzas
cops.
especiales para ver algo
They
nuevo?
hire...
Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, "I'm R&E's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all."
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some R&E's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some...
This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Vale, aparte de sus crímenes contra el código de karaoke, ¿qué es lo que hizo mal?
Wrong.
Ya.
There's slight unease in him.
To kill us all.
Yeah. He said,
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. "Show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt?" Then he gets knocked on the head with a
Volvamos
wine
al hombre
bottle.
que habéis matado.
Doesn't...
What about him?
¿Cómo lo matasteis? Aquí creo que este puede soltarme algo nuevo.
We hanged him.
Didn't they take...
The autopsy showed the
lieutenant goes in.
Yeah, that's right.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
Hay algo que... tú, el grandote.
No.
Of course.
Fuck off.
Keep your eye on this.
And fuck.
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of it.
Like what, copper?
Ok, me aparece una nueva, pero no me aparece una otra. ¿Qué tal el lugar? ¿Algo nuevo?
You don't have to keep on.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good...
Known him? Yeah!
Quiet.
By the Pines Cut.
No.
This is weird.
Why don't you...
That's enough insinuation
no
for...
más
About fucking time.
Autoridad. Pero tenemos que primero ver percepción nuevamente. Y creo que con eso acabaremos el episodio. Vamos a revisar. Ya ganamos un punto más. Y con esto podemos subir el punto de percepción. Y descubrir qué es lo que me quiere decir este talento en primer lugar. Nos falta una prueba más que encaje todo. Los chicos de Hardy obviamente no han sido y están encubriendo a la dama del volante. Y Hardy especialmente se siente muy nervioso cuando habla de ella. O sea, bueno, ya sé que se quieren proteger todos, pero ¿no sería más fácil echarle la culpa a alguien que no está? O al menos que haga algo más entre ellos. Quién sabe, no sé. Pero de nuevo, cuando preguntamos sobre quién era el que daba las órdenes, esa reacción que hicieron, los chicos de Hardy puede que sea solamente el segundo nombre. Claire maneja igual que Joyce a los mercenarios de los chicos de Hardy. A ver, veamos el cadáver una vez más.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's scarred.
Good question. I know. What is even worse? The electricity.
Lucky us.
Percepción una vez más.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red.
Vamos.
It's guarding over. Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
¿Qué es esto?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Meterle los dedos en la boca. Okay, creo que
the oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling. You're on the right track.
Juguetar con los dedos. Esto va bien.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard, can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Abrir los ojos y mirar.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate.
¿Qué estás buscando exactamente?
You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
¿Un agujero debajo de la lengua?
An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Anillo de abrasión.
Abrasion collar.
Tocarlo con el dedo suavemente.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Meter el dedo.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Palmar primero al alrededor.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Oh, ya veo. Empujar más al fondo.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
Hay una cavidad justo en medio de los hemisferios.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Empuja más la mano al fondo.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Abrirle un agujero en la boca.
The cartilage gives in with a crack, like some fruit. Just like that, your hand is in his head. Strange fluid streams down your wrist, and then you feel it with the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
Nota un objeto sólido justo debajo del cráneo.
Can you get to it?
Impresionar el cráneo primero.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Dime que conectividad no puedes fallar, es un 70%. Ya, Dios mío, he fallado tantas veces, tantas buenas oportunidades, que ya no tengo fe en nada. Es fácil, supuestamente es fácil, es crítico, no lo puedo intentar nuevamente. Pero no tengo objetos que mejoren conectividad, así que es ahora o nunca. Vamos. ¿Qué será lo que tiene ahí? Capacidad de un dispositivo para...
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
Capaz era un aparato futurista para ayudarle a pensar alguna operación. Quiero decir, para hacer eso de gritarse en el karaoke, lo que hizo en el karaoke, el hombre debe tener problemas mentales. ¿Quién sabe? Susurrar, lo tengo.
Good.
Sacar los dedos lentamente.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Plomo.
A bullet.
Soltarla en la bolsa. En la bolsa de basura, no.
Falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
¿Me la das?
Of course. You've earned it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Como Los Ángeles.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Estoy de acuerdo. Un disparo en el cerebro. No creo que haya algo más mortal que eso.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
La marca de ligadura, el hueso, el hoyo fracturado, manipulación del cadáver. Manipularon el cadáver.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Concuerdo.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation.
Vale, Kim tenía su propia teoría. Muy bien.
There have been other signs too. Small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there. There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
No, porque hubiera sido un disparo a quemarropa entonces. ¿Quién pudo hacer esto en primer lugar?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
¿Por qué lo hicieron?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
Y creo que necesito lavarme, en serio, me metió la mano hasta el fondo del cerebro de un muerto.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Tal vez la bala tenga más respuestas.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
¿Y ahora qué?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
¿No estarás? ¿Y qué hago yo entonces?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
No te lleves el cuerpo ahorita, necesito las botas. Llévatelo mañana.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Ay, Dios mío. Intentar quitar las botas.
I thought we decided to leave it to...
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone asleep.
Vale, o sea, tengo que esperar que Kim se duerma y llevarme las botas. Y luego mañana temprano Kim se va todo el día. Wow. Todo por las malditas botas, pero aquí lo dejaremos por ahora, chicos. Es ya bastante tarde. Hemos descubierto bastantes cosas, pero por ahora lo dejaremos aquí. Muchas gracias por ver. Hasta la vista.